Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I sometimes almost jump in before you say stuff, but then I chicken out every time, every damn time. Someday I'm going to jump in and just say, hi, friends, like really out of nowhere. I'm going to get you.
Well, I've noticed that I say hello, hello, hello to anyone I encounter. Like at work, I'll be like, hello, hello, hello.
You know what I always greet people with when they come into the plant shop, and I think too much about it, and then I'm like, I feel like that's a weird thing to say. I say, hi there. That's
Why is that weird?
I don't know. I think about it too much, and then I'm like, hi there. Hi there.
It's good because so at one of my locations that I work at, we're like right up front, and like I've worked in, stores way too much, so I'm like naturally greeting everyone, and then I like say like, hi guys, and I know some people are like really offended by that, and so I'm like always, because I always like put
need something neutral.
I always put a noun with it. This doesn't always need to be a noun. Just like hi there, that's great.
Or you could say hi friends. Well, hello there. Yeah. Hello. Oh my God, look at Cease and Cliff are like up on each other. Oh, their little tails together. They're so cute.
Cliff had a horrible little eye googie.
Oh, that's not good.
His eye was like fully like
shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes my cats will have like a watery eye, and then I'm like, "What's wrong with you?"
Like he normally has it, but it was like you could see it. Like his whole fur was like streaked.
Oh, great! There's a hole in these pants.
Oh.
I guess I'm not wearing these anymore. That's so me. I need to remember to talk. I don't know about you, but like I'll forget that there's a hole, and I'll put it in the laundry, and it'll just get worn again. And I'm like, "Oh shit! I knew there was a hole in this."
I have a turtleneck. It's my only black turtleneck. And I put it on the other day, and there's just a hole in the armpit. And I was like, I was going to sew this a year ago, and I never did. And so now it just sits on the floor behind my hamper. I
feel like you have to take your shirts off in a really specific way to get holes there, and I don't. But I know some people who they always take they hook their finger up in there and then pull their shirt off, and yeah, that's how you get the holes.
Well,
I get them right now. The hole that I'm talking about is right in between my legs. If you're a big girl,
chub rub.
Yeah, it just rubs away the what is it? The thread. It just unravels and it disappears. One time, I remember the first time I went to the bathroom and I looked down and I could see through my pants. I was like, oh no.
My issue is I buy H&M clothes, and H&M clothes have about a 3-month life cycle. But now they're expensive.
It's one ply.
Literally.
One ply
half
jean.
ply. Scott's, the provider of H&M clothes.
Well, speaking of icky clothes, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about our plant icks before icks are not a cool thing to talk about anymore.
Yeah, I feel like people don't talk about icks, but we always say stuff like, oh, that gives me the ick, or that gave me the ick.
I've been saying it for years. It's been my thing. So I'm glad everyone else is catching on.
Well, you said you pulled up, you didn't have a plant ick list, but give us some of your man icks to warm us up to plants.
So I've been keeping a list of things that men do that give me the ick.
Try and keep it PG-13.
I don't think any of them are sexual or anything.
Okay.
Okay. So I saw a Tana Mongo video recently where she was okay.
Tana Mongo.
Wait, is it Mongo?
It's Mojo.
Mojo?
Yeah, it's Tana Mojo.
Then why is it MONG? Why is there an N?
I don't know. It's French.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
anyway.
Tana Mojo. I
was never a fan, so.
I was only when I was watching her fake stalker story videos back when I worked at a liquor store, and I had nothing better to do than watch YouTube videos.
2015, baby.
Oh, it was 2016.
Yep,
yes.
2016. Yeah. I would just sit at work and watch YouTube. I watched every single BuzzFeed video. What a nightmare. Anyway, she was like, you all are talking about these icks, and they're not icks. They're just they're turn-offs. They're red flags. They're not icks.
I'm no, there could be things you could watch someone just bite into something wrong, and then that person is not attractive to you anymore.
Yeah.
They gave you the ick, and then you just can't get over it.
You caught them cheating on you. That's not an ick.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. So.
Yeah, that's bad.
So I have 4. I make lists, and I very infrequently update them, so we'll see when this list is bigger, because I was going to make a TikTok video about it, but I don't think I will make enough to anyway. So if I do make a TikTok video, you guys heard it first. My first is men on ellipticals. And the way their bodies flail around on an elliptical.
It just flings your body around.
I don't know why, but a woman on an elliptical, they're sexy athletic beasts. But then a man, it's it's sick. It makes me Cringe.
That's so funny. I bet you're like at the gym making your list,
Literally.
watching these guys. That's what I imagine.
Another thing that men do that really gross me out is when they're, okay, I'm going to have to get up and imitate this. They're just like out in the world. They're not on a basketball court, mind you. They're not in any sort of athletic environment. And they do this. And they act like they're shooting hoops.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. They do the little layup thing.
Yes, just like
They
for
just,
no. And you're like,
they give you a little Kobe.
and you're like, sir, we're in a restaurant. I hate it.
And like those probably the men who like peaked in high school. They're just chasing that feeling. They didn't even get picked for the basketball team. Loser.
Literally, they're like middle-aged men.
Should we start with, should we go through the icks that got sent in
Oh, yeah.
first?
Wait, or should we do ours first? Or
Well,
should we we'll just,
These seem more specific.
Yeah.
These are pretty good. Okay, y'all.
are any of them red flags?
I don't know. We'll see. First, start us off. When my swale grows mold on the top because it won't dry.
Ew, that is an ick.
Mm-hmm. That nice little like fuzziness. That kind of happens like when I was opening up the plant order at PQ. We'll have like mushrooms and stuff and things and just like nice fuzzy mold because it was they usually water the plants, I feel like, right before they put them in these boxes that are like pretty well insulated, and then it just kind of gets it's dark in there. It's
a
gross.
little musty, crusty.
Yeah, it gets a little funky. I get scared because sometimes we'll find like creatures.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. There'll be like icky bugs and sometimes snails. I've never found a gecko though.
Or a frog.
Oh no. Well, that wouldn't scare me as much. But yeah, the snails are not fun. I'm like, that's icky.
One's like a poison dart frog, and it's like, hello.
Hi, welcome to Minnesota. These poor plants. Someone said mold or unexpected insects when repotting. Oh, like when I found that worm. I'm traumatized by that because every time I repot something, I'm looking.
Because you're just not expecting a worm indoors.
No, you're not expecting a worm, and it looks very similar to roots sometimes. So, ew.
Mm-hmm.
That's very much icky.
That's why I made sure that none of my plants were actually touching the ground when I put them outside.
Giving plants all the right conditions, and they still have the audacity to die. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
This one says, telling them they're overwatering, and they proceed to water them in front of you. It's actually kind of funny when some people bring in their plants and they're like, what's wrong with it? And I'm like, this thing's really thirsty. You just need to give it an actual drink. Some people, they just like, oh, Cliff's like, I'm going up on the counter. Some people, I know my mom can be guilty of this because some people don't like the plant to leak all over the place. They'll just like give them a little like cup of water.
Yeah.
The plant needs a more thorough drink, y'all.
That's like me when I'm running out of my fish tank water and I'm like, oh, there's barely any left. So here you go. Boop.
You're like, I'll get you on the next round.
And then I'm like, in 3 weeks, maybe you'll get a full drink.
Oh, Cece's watching Clifford and is like, oh, I'm not a bad kitty, so I'm going to sit down here.
No,
and
she
wait for the
just
food.
she couldn't get on that counter if she tried.
That is true.
She's been about a 60-40 success rate at getting on my bed. So
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, someone says begonia, nasty hose. Begonias give you the ick.
you know that begonias had given me the ick for a long time. I'm getting over it.
You
but
don't love begonias. You barely have any.
Actually,
I'm shocked you have any at all.
I
have a good handful.
wait,
now.
do I have any besides the Immaculata?
I was just about to say you have a Immaculata right there. I don't know if you have any besides that.
I don't think I do. I'm not getting over my begonia ick.
They're so fun though.
There's a couple I want.
Yeah.
But
the one that I wanted that everyone else seems to like, the Melanobalata, not really loving me right now. I can't tell if it's a lack of humidity or if it's getting like too much light because the leaves are not very green anymore. They're very light green, almost like that yellowy, like bleached look. Like it looks like it's getting too much light. I'm like, what's going on here? Plant elitists. Ooh, this is a different type of ick.
Yeah.
Plant elitists, the people who shit on common plants and those who love common plants. I love my common plants. Should we go over a couple of our faves just for funsies?
yeah.
I mean, I just think about a good common like Hartley philodendron or Brazil. I love it. Some people call them Brazilians.
It's technically like Brazil. It's not even Brazil.
Yeah. Or some plant websites will be like Brazil. I'm like, that's not correct.
We had a bar/restaurant in my home area that was called Brazils.
Brazils. Fun. Reminds me of, was it in Eau Claire where there's one called Blarney's or something?
No.
What am I thinking of? Are you sure?
There was, oh God, the one on the end. I don't remember. It's been so long. One of my roommates worked there.
Oh, someone said peeling off used label tape after repotting. Like,
oh yeah,
the label on it, and then there's like the extra sticky left behind.
Yeah,
and then it gets a layer of dirt on it.
Because I feel like a lot of the ones in nurseries, it then peels and shreds, and it's like the jagged, and then half of it's still there.
Oh, I have so many pots where it's just a little streak of of label that I couldn't get off if I tried. Most of my plants are still in plastic pots, y'all. Like, I just saw it. I don't know who posted it. They said that I think it was in the Hoya group chat we're in. Someone's merch. They had a shirt that said, "Nursery pots are the underwear for plants."
Oh, well, my plants are just
naked.
Dance off, pants off.
They go underwearless. They just go straight into the jeans. That's icky. Wearing jeans without underwear. I don't care who you are.
I would rather die.
There are people who go underwearless with the jeans, and I'm judging you a little bit. Oh, that's icky.
And especially because you're not supposed to wash jeans.
Yeah, I'm like, jeans, you're supposed to be able to wear them a bunch. I don't know what it is with jeans that really they don't stink up as fast as like these exact pants I'm wearing, these like Adidas pants. I can only wear these one time. Yeah, jeans are meant to last, y'all. And then until they start feeling paper thin and you can see through them when you're going to the bathroom. That's not good. Someone said pots without drainage holes. That's a good ick. We just got a bunch of pots into the shop at PQ and they don't have drainage holes. And like when you order these online, they don't really tell you that. Annoying.
I mean, because I keep the underwear on my plants, I do prefer my pots not to have drainage holes. But I will say an ick is like planting pots directly in. People who plant pots directly in pots without drainage holes. I'm like, that's a level of dedication to that plant that I do not have. I do not have the time to monitor
make sure that it's not
its moisture levels like that.
I always make people promise that if they're going to do that, if they absolutely want to plant something in there, like if it's a shallow pot and like you just can't find any plastic pot that sits in there, fine. I'm like, you got to be taking that to the sink and like dumping out that excess water. You got to promise me. And I'm sure they don't.
You should have little contracts that they have to sign.
Literally, because it's like an adoption. You're really putting this plant's life at risk.
Like, you owe me $100 if you don't abide by my laws.
You need to know your risks. Don't be a bad parent. It's like, I don't know. I shouldn't have kids because I didn't know kids can't have water. Or babies can't have water. So it's just, you got to know these things.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, babies aren't supposed to have water.
Why?
I don't know.
How do they hydrate?
Breast milk.
From the air?
No, what? They're not an air plant. What do you mean? Through their, like, the formulas. They can't, I don't know. Should I Google it right now? I am kind of curious as to why. But I found out that on TikTok, and I was like, really? Why can't people listening right now who have children are like...
You idiots.
Someone says, you probably know this, but you probably don't know why.
I guess, yeah. Like, have you ever just...
If under 6 months old, should be receiving both nutrition and hydration from breast milk or formula, not water. You might not know why. It's because babies' bodies aren't suited for water until several months after birth. Tiny tummies and developing kidneys put them at risk for both nutrient loss and water intoxication.
Oh, like you think about it. Like when a human drinks like 2 gallons of water, like a full-size human, like think of like the comparative size of water for like a baby.
Weird. Oh my God. At birth, babies' bellies only hold 1 to 2 teaspoons.
How are they drinking all this milk?
Well, I think because they have such a tiny little body, I think it just goes through real fast, and that's why they go through so many damn diapers. It just goes right out.
That makes sense.
I was just trying to figure out babies.
Yet another reason I never want to have one.
Oh my God. Back to it. Everyone's rolling their eyes at us. Gnats are other bugs. Yeah. Gnats aren't giving me the ick as much as actual flies in my house right now that are driving me nuts. Really? It's getting a little bit better. Like, it gets bad and then it gets better. I don't know. I don't want to deal with it right now. I don't want to talk about it.
The life cycle.
Touching root rot.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
When you, like, pull it and then it's like that string. We should have given a warning.
The worst is the smell that comes after you pull off.
Someone said root rot with the salute emoji. Root rot. That's the ick. And then someone else said the smell of root rot. When roots get super fuzzy like tarantula legs from high ambient humidity, barf. I like it.
A lot of people, I've actually talked to a lot of people who cut their Hoya aerial roots off because it gives them the ick. And I can see it, but then there's so many that I'm like, I don't have time for, look at that. Like, can you imagine cutting off all those little things? It'd take forever.
I had before on my rickrack cactus because those also go kind of crazy.
I don't like rickrack roots.
They're really weird. They root really easy though.
Yeah.
Very, very easy. So Hannah said ferns, African violets, and poinsettias for actual plants that give her the ick. I love ferns. I mean, I know that they're icky to care for. I can't speak.
See, ferns for me, like, they're just so ingrained in my childhood of being a plant of the woodlands. So they just are like a native plant to me. They all look native. And I'm like, these are
like, it looks like a little hosta.
Like, yeah.
Just looks like a little outdoor plant.
And African violets used to, but they're kind of growing on me, I think. Not that I would necessarily get one, but they don't give me the ick like they used to.
I wonder, Hannah, if poinsettias give you the ick, do all the euphorbias give you the ick as well? Eyebrow raise.
I think a poinsettia doesn't give me the ick unless it's in that foil wrap.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say any plant in that foil wrap around the plastic pot.
Wrap around.
Gives me that big ick. It's just, I can, the little corners on the sides too. Yeah, it's horrible. Oh, look at those big paws.
The cats are just like up in our grill today.
Yeah, they're staring at us from afar. They're really curious about what's going on. Someone said stepping on a big old chunk of perlite.
Yes.
It's kind of satisfying though sometimes. But probably because I wear shoes in my house. If you barefoot, I would not like
when
that.
When you're barefoot, it's like stepping on a Lego.
It's a nice crunch. You know, sometimes if you step on a leaf too, like a pothos that has made it to the floor, it has that same crunch.
The ick is when a plant gets to the floor and you don't realize it and you step on a leaf that's still on the vine. Then it's like it's like a squish.
Or when you, oh my God. Okay, so sometimes there's a specific type of like way that a leaf will melt off. And it gives you this little, there's this little sack of water that you could just flap it around, you know?
God.
Oh my God, look at the spider on the ceiling right there.
Oh.
You look like you're missing a leg or two, friend. Ew. Moves away. It's right on top of me. How scary. I don't like that. The amount of hate people have against leca and pawn. Are there people who hate that? I guess there are some people who are like,
I'm sure there are.
And don't tell me to put it in leca.
I mean, I'm pretty much open to anything that I know is like a viable option.
You know what I didn't get into that everyone was trying to push onto me and I just refused, and I think that it's already out? Tree fern. I don't like tree fern. The substrate. Did you hear that?
Is that like what everyone was putting their little anthurium seedlings in?
Yeah, and it looks like a bunch of sticks.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Sorry, friends. Oops, Cece's coming up. Oh, we almost got a meow. Give it to us, Cece. Please.
She's been a needy little girl since I got home from work today.
She's like, pay attention to me, please. The way that I woke up and Kaya was all snuggled up next to me, it was so cute. These cats are just crazy. Except there was a little, when Isabella was going to the bathroom, there's a little cat fight.
Oh.
In the bathroom. Because Charlie likes to hide in there from Kaya. It's just craziness. Both Binks and Charlie like growl when they see Kaya. They just start going.
Okay, Jasper.
Yeah, that's what they sound like. Oh, by the way, I got this video. I think that Charlie might have cat asthma. Do you know that this is a thing?
Catsma.
Catsma. And
how come cats have so many human equivalent diseases?
I don't know, because I'm pretty sure they can also have diabetes. Can they not?
And cat HIV? Cat
it's
AIDS?
a moving. Doesn't it got closer? The spider. For everyone listening. Yeah, so I went and looked on the internet. There's a vet that had a little YouTube channel and was like, I mean, I don't know if she's a real vet. You could say anything nowadays on the internet. But she said the most important thing, most helpful thing is to get this asthma attack or supposed asthma attack on video. So I'm going to play this. And any cat experts who want to weigh in, because I'm not trying to go to the vet. Oh my God, look at it crawl. Look at it crawl.
Oh, it's going. Where are you going, bud?
Yeah, you look like you're getting a little curious to come near me. Go over to your Brandon. Okay.
Oh, he's really cruising. Cruising for a bruising.
Ew. Cease's right in front of me, waiting for some attention. Okay. I'm playing this video now. Doesn't he sound like... It's like he wants to like barf, but he doesn't. He's not gagging. He's literally like sneezing or something.
Well, it sounds like what my Shih Tzus growing up always had, reverse sneezing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like that.
Yeah.
Is that related to cat asthma?
Apparently.
Yeah.
So anyone who has cats with asthma or you work in the medical field, let us know.
There is an albuterol shortage now too. Thank God I'm stocked up.
There's a shortage on everything now.
If anyone needs some albuterol, hit me up. I'll give you a good deal.
Oh my God, I don't think we can advertise selling medication. Clifford's just over there laying down. Oh, Cease is going to join him. Let me see if I got through all the icks from everybody. Loo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, that's it. We had a short little list. Oh, no, we have a couple more. Monstera and Sony. Since mine had mosaic and virus, I just can't anymore.
Yeah, they do give me the ick as well. And the one that I have now, like, it doesn't have the virus, but it just won't stop yellowing leaves. It just gives me the ick. Just at the top of my shelf, and I'm like, well, I'm not dealing with you because I don't want to.
And Sonyas do not like me. They're not as robust as the Deliciosa or any other Monsteras.
And I've repotted it. I'm like, you've gotten a new pot. You are one of the few plants in this collection that have been repotted in the last 8 months, so you better be grateful.
I think that they're more sensitive to their nutrient uptake and or pH level as well. Just picky little assholes. I don't love them. Someone else said, I hate Venus flytraps. Those high maintenance bitches can never stay alive. Are you sure it's not going dormant?
It is interesting because do you know anyone who's like a Venus flytrap aficionado?
No.
I don't either.
I know, I guess like there's a couple carnivorous plant people that I follow that have like a few, but still I don't think anyone would say it's their favorite.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's as many like uncommon ones as there are for like Drosera, Sarracenia, Nepenthes,
and then it's like
Pinguicula.
you see them everywhere. Like people just buy them for like novelty and then they die.
Mm-hmm. Poor things.
They're the poinsettia of the carnivorous plant world.
They really are though. So sorry about it. Well, let's go over some of our plant icks. I mean, do you have any to add? I mean, that floppy leaf texture has to be my least favorite, or when I like try and snap off a leaf that's like dying and it actually mushes in my hand.
There is nothing worse than that, especially when it doesn't, when you're like, oh no, this leaf is on its way out, but you're not expecting it's so much farther out than you actually looks like, and then you grab it and you're like, ugh.
It's floppy, and then that nice little smell lingers on your fingers.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Ugh.
What about plant arrangements? Are there any ways that people have their plants like arranged that gives you the ick, or like certain pots? Honestly, I don't like the pots that are like the generic like face pots
Yeah.
that you can get at like Target. I'm so sorry.
Not a fan of those.
I wouldn't say they give me the ick, but I don't like them.
I don't like when people are super picky about their pots. Like, it gives me the ick when you have all matching pots, but like they don't necessarily match your decor. I'm like, if you have like a terracotta themed house and you have all terracotta pots, like that's cute. But like if you're like, oh, my plants have to have this, and I'm like, well, it doesn't actually go with anything.
Yeah,
you have.
it still looks out of place. Yeah, I've been a lot more lax with my pot decisions. Try to freebird it, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't even. I'm like, well, if this plant fits in this pot, like it will. This is where it's going to live for the rest of time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And my plants just like to switch them around sometimes too, especially because you have to repot them, and then that plant is vacant and it's free real estate for another plant to go in. Mm-hmm. What are you doing over there, Cliff? Icky plants. What plants give me the ick? I will say, looking at pipers, like piper plants that are really in right now, I just feel like it would crust up the second I brought it home. And I know a lot of them have those little like things underneath the leaves. They just naturally like secrete these like little balls. I don't know what it is. It's so nasty. It almost looks like a bunch of pests, but it's not. And then a bunch of the dirt can fling up and get stuck to it. And then it actually looks like you have pests, and it's horrible. So they kind of give me the ick. I do want a couple of the popular pipers going around right now, but they're kind of hard to find. And I'm not trying to get pipers through the mail. No, thank you.
Any plant that looks like an ivy, pipers are included in that for me. They give me the ick. If you look like an ivy vine, I don't want you.
Boring. Even that like succulent looking ivy looking thing. I don't know. There's one that's like has the shape of an ivy, but it's actually succulent.
Compact ficuses, triangularis.
I like them when they're nice and big and full, but still, when we get them into the shop, sometimes you just give them a shake and half the leaves drop.
They just give me shrub.
I feel like fiddly figs give me not ick, but like red flag. Just because I've killed 3, and it was my first big spider mite infestation. So whenever I see those like divots and grooves in those like clown shoe leaves, I just think of spider mites. Just icky. I don't like it.
Philodendron Birkin gives me the ick.
Just looking at it.
Looking at mine right now, I'm like, I hate this thing. It just makes me want to throw up.
Mice and pitcher plants really gives me icky. You don't need to pull it out and it's hanging on the stick like that. So nasty. Look at Clifford playing with that little rainbow. He said gay rights.
He's like fags and drugs.
Oh my God.
It's a catnip rainbow, so he's high right now.
He's going crazy. Clifford loves getting high. He loves eating your that spider plant thing.
I don't know how that's still alive, because there have been times where that thing has been empty of water for weeks at a time, and it's still alive.
They're hardy. They're crazy. Oh, what'd you say is the ickiest plant pest? The ickiest of all. Well, for me, it's got to be mealies. It can't not be mealies.
I don't know how you thought I had a different answer than that.
There's no plant that gives me the ick like that. When there's a lot of them, I don't care. Like the biggest thrip infestation could not compare to the disgustingness of a mealybug infestation.
Like a plant infested with thrips, and I'm just throwing it away because I can't deal with it. I'm fine. I'm like, here you go in the garbage. If I have to transport a herd of mealybugs on a plant to the garbage can, I'm projectile vomiting on my way to the garbage can.
It is like I see people in videos, they'll like squish mealybugs. That's one plant pest that I will not touch.
No.
Not with my fingers. No.
Because then there's like the powdery residue. Ugh.
Icky. And people, you can't just smash the ones you see. They can be so small. You got to be really thorough if you're going to keep that plant around.
And so large.
Yeah. So like if you find a big one, there's more. There's got to be more. Yuck. Is that what we've got for plant Icks, Brandon?
What are more icks? I know I have more.
My Maranta, when my Maranta has a bunch of like dead leaves like that, like the one I
Yes.
posted on my story, that doesn't just give me the ick, it makes my body itch.
Yes. And that's the reason I haven't dealt with that, is because touching those
Mm-hmm.
for what, like almost every, because they don't come off. That's the ick, is like dead leaves that don't come off.
They just
And those are like
hold on for
the
dear life.
hardest one. I know we were talking about this the other day
Mhm.
when you try to pull off the flowers
Mhm.
and then the whole plant comes out. Like, ugh.
Icky ick.
Where like a pothos, a dead yellow leaf, it's like a pleasure. I'm like, oh God, I love pulling you off. You just like have that little snap.
I also don't love seeing the pothos like that when there's just like a bunch of strings at the top.
The
and then it
legginess.
the
It's
leggy
disgusting.
pothos.
I'm like about to just give them both the chop and be like, okay, you can start over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple of mine has actually taken a tumble a couple times because mine is on a hook, but I don't know why, the like hooks that come on the like hanging baskets, they're so big and like bulky that this little hook on my ceiling can barely, like, it's just balancing on it.
Oh yeah.
And if I like turn the plant too much, because it's one of those where it like turns around 360, like it doesn't, I like those hanging pots, but it'll come off the hook and it'll just like on the ground. So I've lost a couple strands that have just kind of kinked, and broken and snapped. And I'm like, oh, damn it. And it's getting long enough to where the cats can reach it a little bit. So they've been kind of at the ends. Yeah. Not so good. Right now, my Micans is actually giving me the ick that I have like hanging in the living room because it has spider mites. And when Micans have pests, they get so sappy.
Yeah,
it's so gross.
Sticky they're like, please, ants, come help us.
Yeah, it's so gross. Even like there's a couple of philodendrons that just get really, really full of sap. And I'm just trying to water this plant, and now it feels like I just dunked my hand in syrup. I'm like, I didn't ask for this.
This has never happened to me, but people who do get ant infestations in their plants,
Oh my God.
I've seen some videos, and I'm like,
that's icky.
there's a whole fucking colony inside this pot. I'm gonna
What do you
throw
do?
up.
What do you do with that? Do they just repot it?
I don't really know.
Douse
I
it
did
with hydrogen peroxide?
the second
Kill them?
ants are one of my least favorite creatures on earth. I have ant trauma. So anytime I see like a large colony of ants, I'm just like, nope, this is not for me. Goodbye. The only ants I can watch are like those ones in the Amazon because they like cut the leaves and they carry them, and I think it's so funny.
Oh yeah, when they're like building a little thing.
Yeah, and they're like in a line, and then like one ant gets diverted, and
They're
all
doing
like,
it to. I saw a video. They're doing it to feed the fungi.
yeah.
So cool. Amazing. And apparently they'll even like eat parts of the leaves that are diseased so that it doesn't go into the fungi.
But even like North American ants, I can't deal with. Ugh.
What about fire ants?
Those are South American.
South American. I mean, there's still some in America, in North America. I saw someone on a church trip. They zapped me in the butt. It was all over my towel. Yeah.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
No, they're not that serious.
Well, real fire ants are.
The ones that like just kind of.
Because I had carpenter ants fall on me
Ew.
in a box. I was like trying to get a box out of the rafters, and then it fell, like, like a bucket on the
God.
head, and it was full of carpenter ants, and they just like
All
poured.
over you. Oh, that's a good ick to end with because ew, my toes are curled up.
I was like 9 years old. It was the trauma of a century.
I have dog trauma from when I was like 9 years old. I had to get over like being scared of dogs because one like lunged after me and attacked me.
Oh,
but now I love
I
doggies.
was terrified of dogs too as a child.
And horsies. I didn't like horses.
They're
big and scary.
I still don't like horses.
They
They don't seem like they should exist.
They got big chompers. I don't like that. They're so big.
And their muscles. Ugh.
I don't get how people can live in Australia around the kangaroos because they are muscly. Those some big motherfuckers.
I don't know how anyone lives in Australia. Like my friend lives there.
Everything is scary there.
And one time she like FaceTimed me and she's like, hey, I'm just like FaceTiming you in case these dingoes that are stalking me on my way to work like get me. And I'm just
dingoes.
They're literally, she's like walking backwards to work and they're just like following her. I'm like, I can't with this.
Amazon.
Pick 2, low prices, fast delivery. Well, it's not fast delivery anymore, Amazon. We all
It's
know
really
this.
not fast anymore, Amazon. You kind of lost it.
What are we paying for Prime for?
I'm not paying for Prime. Certainly it's not me.
Oh, I was like, does that Amazon driver have a corgi? Look at that fucking corgi. It's so cute.
That is cute. I don't understand people's obsession with corgi butts, but, they're cute.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
People have tattoos of corgi butts, and I don't even know what they look like.
You have a butthole tattoo?
They get it, like, in the shape of a heart.
Like, at the end of the day, it's still a butthole. It's still a bunghole. God. What's wrong with people? That's an ick. Corgi butt tattoos. Get out of here.
You sound like my dad. Oh, jeez. Get out of here. I'm really going to look it up. Corgi. Google's like, what are you doing today? Corgi butt tattoo. Anyways, where can people find you on the interwebs, Brandon?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Brandon Botanical, and you can find all my links at brandonbotanical.com.
These aren't the ones I was thinking of, but
I hate that.
The ones I'm thinking of, like
that one's cute. That one, that one, I can't.
I gotta find the one where it was literally just a butt.
It's
Like
just
you couldn't even tell
it's
it was
just
a
full
dog. There was no dog head like peeking around the corner. It was nuts. All right, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Nicole Larson Grows. Come see us at PlantCon in May.
Oh yeah.
It's coming up real soon.
We'll tell you more about it. That's your little sneak peek.
Bye.
Bye.